Time shifters and creative change makers. You who dare to create a better life and a better world. Tap into the power that resides within you and use that power for constructive change. Hello and welcome to Misconception 9 of the 10 misconceptions that limit you reaching your full potential. We are getting close to the end, and I hope that you are enjoying this series and have found it to be beneficial. So please leave your comments. I'd love to hear from you. So misconception 9, your words are not important. The truth is, your speech is a powerful creative force in your life every day. Your words are commands to your superconscious and subconscious to create the conditions that you speak. For instance, when you use the words I am, you are calling for your divine presence within you to create whatever condition you speak following those words. So when you say I am sick, you're literally affirming that condition and adding energy to whatever limiting condition you may be feeling at the time. There have been many experiments with sound and how it impacts the physical world, including probably the greatest experiment that we read about in the Bible when God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And the Bible's not the only place we find this action recorded. In ancient Hindu Vedas, we read, "In the beginning was Brahman, with whom was the Word, and the Word is Brahman." This somewhat parallels the Bible. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Jewish, and Sufi mystics all believe that it is this Word that creates, pervades, and sustains everything that exists. There have also been contemporary experiments that have brought forth some amazing revelations about sound. Take the late Dr. Masaru Emoto's experiments with water that he conducted in the 1990s. Dr. Emoto performed a series of experiments observing the physical effect of words, prayers, music, and the environment on the crystalline structure of water. He had photographers take pictures of the water after it was exposed to these various conditions and then frozen, which formed crystalline structures and producing remarkable results. Prior to the experiment, the water didn't really have any particular structure, just sort of random shape and form. But after being exposed to various words, both positive and negative, the water took a definite form. In the case of positive words, or in the case of prayer, beautiful forms resulted. When negative words or phrases were used, the water took on ugly formations that were not geometrically balanced. Another well-known study in the 1960s that demonstrates sound affects physical matter is cymatics by Dr. Hans Jenny, who studied visible sound and vibration. His experiments involved sand placed on metal plates. Then he would produce different frequencies of sound and watch the sand actually move into beautiful patterns, unique to each of the vibrations he would use. And these patterns would be sustained as long as the sound was sounding and then collapse when the sound ended. And in the case of humans who have the capability of speech, we generate creative sound using our voice and throat chakra, the spiritual center located over our throat area. Think of how much more powerful it is to say and feel, "I love you," to your spouse or child than to simply think and feel, "I love you," towards someone. Or how destructive cruel words can be compared to just thinking cruel thoughts. And even though our thoughts are also powerful manifestations of energy, our spoken word is more powerful than we usually realize. Whether used positively or negatively, we are creating. One of the great examples of how one can speak the word and change his or her life is from Florence Scovel Shinn. Mrs. Shinn was a metaphysical teacher and lecturer in the early 1900s, so she was a bit before her time. But she developed her own brand of religion, was certainly one of the early pioneers in this area. You cannot read her book, The Writings of Florence Scovel Shinn, without being lifted and recommitted to speaking the words that create your circumstances. She totally believed that we can change our conditions by changing our words, and she did just that for herself and many others. When you continually verbalize limiting beliefs, you are solidifying them into your world. And the remedy, of course, is to speak the result that you do want and eliminate the faulty limiting beliefs that you hold about yourself. Mrs. Shinn also talks about a situation that she faced herself and how she resolved it. She said it took a long time for her to get out of a belief that a certain thing brought disappointment. If the thing happened, disappointment invariably followed her. She found that the only way she could make a change in her subconscious was by asserting, there are not two powers, there is only one power, God. Therefore, there are no disappointments, and this thing means a happy surprise. Once she made this switch in her language and her belief structure, it affected her old belief. She noticed a change at once and says that happy surprises did begin coming her way. So this just shows us you can craft any statement that helps you to overcome any limiting or negative belief that you have. She had a tremendous momentum on speaking the word, so much so that people would come to her from all over to speak the word for conditions in their lives, and people's lives changed because of it. It's a very powerful practice, and I have been practicing this for many, many years, and I can attest to the great power of the spoken word. The important thing when we want to speak the word and create a condition in our life is to make the affirmative statement as if the condition is already manifested. What I mean by this is, speak, for example, by saying, I am so happy and so grateful that my debts are paid off and I owe no man anything. We speak as if it has already happened. But that's not all. Not only do we speak the words as if it's already happened, but we feel the result. And this is very important. What does it feel like to have your debts paid off? That's the feeling, the vibration that you put forth to attract that condition to you. Like attracts like. And then you see it done and know it is already done, giving thanks that you've received it. Then open your consciousness, your heart and your mind to receive that which you've called forth. If you subconsciously do not feel worthy to receive, or if you do not believe it's possible and you're just kidding yourself, then it's likely that you will not receive what you speak. When we understand what we can consciously create with our spoken words and by raising our vibration, we begin to see that not only can we transform our own life, which in turn transforms those that we interact with and in our environment, but we can transform conditions in the world, particularly when a group holds the same intention, imagines and feels the final result, and speaks the word for it to come into manifestation. This is where the understanding of vibration and frequency helps us to apply various frequencies of light very specifically to particular conditions. For instance, the masters teach that from the white light of the One, there are 7 rays or frequencies that emanate, and these frequencies correlate to qualities of the deity. We also ensoul these frequencies as they correlate to the 7 major chakras superimposed over organs of our physical bodies. These energy frequencies that manifest as color and vibration can be invoked and put to use in our creative use of the word. So please see my earlier episode on the chakras in their purified form, which provides more information on the chakra subject. And also, I will repost the violet flame mantras that you can use to transmute negative conditions in your life. Now, when you speak the conditions that you want in your life, this, of course, does not mean that you deny or ignore any condition in your life. Rather, you deny the power of that condition. You don't give it your creative energies. You don't give it your creative power. And you take appropriate action to deal with whatever the situation is. And then you put your creative energies again into what you want to create. You are the creative force, the alchemist of your life. And it all happens within your own consciousness. You are either the open door or the impediment to the manifestation of your words. Feeling, visualizing, and accepting conditions as if they are already as you speak them magnifies the power of your words and attracts those things to you. Conversely, if you speak negatively, which is usually reinforced by negative thoughts and feelings, you attract these to yourself. So change your words and change your life. I will see you next week with the final misconception. Until then, keep an open mind, a generous heart, and a powerful spirit. Thank you for being with me today, and if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, download, and comment. I'd love to hear from you, and your support is much appreciated. And don't forget, go to nancyshowalter.com to get your free electronic copy of my book, It's Okay to Be Rich, The Entrepreneur's Guide to Increased Wealth and Personal Mastery, endorsed by T. Harv Eker, and my free mini course, How to Speak Your Success, the shocking truth of how your words impact achieving your goals. I'll see you next week.